Rap is out of control.
Modern Vintage. The name describes how the project was created.
Mm-hmm.
There's combination, like y'all talked a little bit earlier about how the music's fused, the live,
Right.
there's some sampling in there, very little sampling, but even the live music was mixed to sound like samples.
Yeah.
Sure,
You
yeah.
know, the compositions, the whole point was to be the sample. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So hopefully these songs will later be samples for later.
Right.
You know, and I guess the vintage approach also comes in the style in which the music was composed. You know, back in the day, that's how it was done. Live instruments going down in the studio,
Right.
just jamming. You know what I'm saying? Coming up with ideas, peeling away the whack parts and putting the pristine parts together and coming up with the actual songs.
Right.
And also, we got to attribute some of the vintage equipment, you know, some vintage drum machines, some vintage
Some Moogs in there.
microphones,
Yeah.
some
Prodigy,
Moogs in
yeah,
there,
a lot of Moog
et cetera.
stuff.
Well, let's find out more information on what was used on this album, PVD.
I mean, JR's been in my studio many times. It's a humble setup, but I mean, a lot of live instruments, microphones, you know, like microphones on instruments, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
mostly.
Right.
Like
Right,
I
right.
play the bass, I play the guitar, play keys, play drums. So, you know.
Now, when you guys have you guys started performing live yet, or
We were performing live
So you
before
got a
we
band?
were doing. Yeah. So I mean, like on the record, it's mostly me playing.
right?
I would say 85 to 90% of the stuff. You know, when we rock live, I got a band that I work with. The guys that were in the All the World video the other day,
Mm-hmm.
same thing, same band. You know,
Yeah.
few rotating members here and there, but main unit.
So what I really liked was on this project how the lyricists and the instrumentation all sounded like in unison. It wasn't like, you know, where the music played the back. It just sounded all together in unison, and I really enjoyed that. Like you know,
True.
you sounded like an instrument at times. You know, it was like, yo, that's really cool how they pulled that off.
JR, you know, I mean, he's an ill MC.
Right.
And he's one of those MCs that can adapt to, like, you know, the background, you know what I'm saying? But with this particular project, I definitely agree that, like, he really fit right in.
Yeah, it
with,
was like
with the
perfect,
track.
seamless.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the joints, the way they came together was not. It was like I was giving him literally a sketch of what you're hearing now. It's like then
Right.
we kind of, you know, it wasn't me emailing him beats and coming
Right.
back
It
with
was
with
all done
verses.
in the
Yeah, it was
studio,
like-
right?
It was like,
Definitely.
yeah, I'd have ideas laid down. We'd, you know, turn it into a song, and then I would embellish it, and you know, and then it's like really.
Most
filling
hip
the
hop
whole
doesn't
thing
happen
out.
that way.
I
anymore.
know.
So
I
that's
know, like a lot of the artists I work with, it doesn't necessarily happen that way
that's
either.
really
you
And
know?
that's kind of leading back to the title, Modern Vintage. We wanted to take it back to how hip hop or
Used to,
how
right.
records were made in the
made.
studio.
Yeah.
And even in a sense, I'll admit my intentions were to come in the studio prepared and have the lyrics for every session. It never happened.
And it's good that it
Yeah.
didn't.
And
Yeah.
even in those instances, it would be like, you know, he'd track his verses to the beat, and then it would be like, all right, we're gonna add this, we're gonna write horn parts, we're gonna get rid of this, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna,
Absolute.
you know, completely flip this, you know. So
It was original compositions that were thought out from PVD. It kind of, not even kind of, it made me
It
bring
pushes
my
you.
part.
Yeah.
It made me bring my part and compose the lyrics to the music and play my role in the big scheme of the soundscape. So yeah, I feel like what you were hearing was definitely that. It was me growing.
Yeah.
You know?